Steve Mills here, and it's great to be back on my podcast sharing with you some more ideas. Today, excuse me, just had to cough there. Today I wanted to talk to you about ebooks and how you can use ebooks to grow your business. I'm joined by my colleague Amanda, who's spent most of the afternoon actually doing ebooks. So welcome, say hello, Amanda.
Hello everyone.
Yeah, it's great to be here with you. So what we thought we'd do is just have a brief conversation about ebooks and why we think they're important. And I spoke to Amanda just before we started the podcast and asked her to go through what she thinks are maybe the two or three most important things about an ebook. So, Amanda, over to you.
Well, I think top three things that are important for an ebook is to start strong. So, address the customer's problems, their situation, and really speak to what the customer's going through and make it snappy, maybe catch their attention.
Okay, so like a really good headline and a strong, it's like play your big guns first, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
Sort
absolutely. The first page makes you want to read the second page.
Good point.
Depending on tone of voice, you've got to get that right, but you could have a joke in there or a play on words or just something that
grabs their attention at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay.
Second most important thing, as I've been doing this afternoon, is designing it. So it's worth designing it professionally with software rather than just copying and pasting it in Word or something.
Yeah. I mean, Word's okay, isn't it? But, getting it properly designed. So I always think in marketing, it's all about perception, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody who's got an ebook and it's just in Word, there's a perception about that. Whereas if you've got a nice banner and it looks good and you've got pictures and stuff, it's bound to get people thinking it's better, just purely because of that. And the third one?
And the third one is that once it's made and you've got that, don't just hide it away. You need to market it. So you need a good landing page on your website, and then in exchange for maybe an email address, they'd get the ebook and then have a nice thank you email or a thank you page that leads them on to more things. And then you can promote that page across social media and lots of digital channels.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying. Having a good headline, it's the old first impression, isn't it? You never get a second chance to create an outstanding, not just a good, it wants to be outstanding at a level that stands out from your competition. So you've got an ebook that stands out, it looks really good, the words are good, the first part of the words, i.e. the headline and subhead, first page being the most important thing. And then as Amanda said, there's no point doing all this if nobody's ever going to read it or find it or whatever. It also, I think, Amanda, it really helps you having something like this from a point of view of lead generation, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. I think one of the big problems that people have with leads is they try and sell to people who don't know them. They don't like them because there's no relationship yet, and there's certainly no trust. Whereas if you've got an ebook that's demonstrating what you do and how you do it and your expertise in a way, then you're off to a good start by getting people to sign up for it. So I suppose if you're like, I don't know, if you're a landscape gardener, or if you're an accountant, or if you're a HR professional or something like that, if you write an ebook, and when I say a book, I don't think it has to be a massive document, but just my ebook, certainly one of my ebooks called The 10 Biggest Lead Generation Mistakes, is 10 pages. It's 10 pages with one mistake on each page. And, I've been using that for many years, and it's helped me grow my database. It's a good introduction to me and a great tool. So if you're, as I said, let's say, for example, an accountant, And you wrote one even called something like the 10 mistakes, or 7 ways to do something, or 5 tips for improving your X, Y, or Z. That's an easy structure to actually write. It's just a tips list. But at the same time, it's demonstrating your expertise and you knowing what to do.
And equally, if you haven't done one before and it sounds a bit daunting to write an entire book, you could start with a checklist or a 2-page guide to something.
Perfect.
So it doesn't have to be, 10 pages of full written paragraphs if that sounds daunting. So a landscape gardener, for example, could be a checklist of what
to plant in the spring, or what type of soil is required for roses, or something like that. All stuff that you and I know nothing about, because we're making it up as we're going along here.
but to show your expertise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great. Okay, so that's it. That's our message. If you've not got an ebook, you need to go and write one. And when we say book, as Amanda said, it could be just something as small as a 2-page report. But get it produced and then get it out there and get people to sign up for it. Yeah, you've got a choice as to whether you want to just give it away on your website, or whether you want to use it as a lead generation tool by getting people to give you perhaps their name, their telephone number and their email address in order to receive it. So thanks ever so much for listening. Thank you, Amanda. I think this is the first time she's done a podcast, so certainly with me anyway. So it's first time. So great. Good to have you on here. Thank you ever so much for listening. If you want to know more from either Amanda or myself, go to www.stevemills.co. Thanks very much for listening.